pledge allegiance. Read my own notes. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just a couple of things. Could I take attendance, please? We'll start from the left and go forward.
Barbara White.
Frank Gibbs.
Tricia McCarthy.
Roger Hill.
Jack Kozec.
John Sylvia.
Mary Reardon.
Thank you. Okay. Our first hearing tonight is Mr. and Mrs. Card. It's a preliminary review. Just want to give everybody a recap on preliminary reviews that I wrote out. It's just quite nice. Well, this is a nice one. This is a preliminary review. In fact, both of them are. Not a public hearing. There's no questions from the public. The board will not be commenting on the merits of the application, but only on the completeness and any deficiencies to be corrected before a public hearing. Who would like to come to the podium? Let me just read it. Jeffrey and Barbara Kahn of 1A Waters Grove Road, Newton, New Hampshire, request a public hearing for relief from section 11-3A of zoning specifically to be allowed in addition to a covered porch with non-conforming setbacks. The property appears to tax map 02 block 3 block 35-1. And Ms. McCarthy, are you going to recuse yourself here?
Yes, I will. Thank you for
Ms.
reminding me.
McCarthy is going to recuse herself, and I'm going to have Ms. White become a voting member. Okay? Let us continue. Who would like to talk?
Well, we're looking to put a front porch
Yeah.
on our newly built home.
Is it just the front porch?
Just a front
No,
porch,
it's
with
not.
a roof, that's all.
Yeah. I have a question that, well, why don't you go through it first, and I'm sure we'll all have some questions. Okay. Yeah.
What was the question?
That's it? Okay, well, does anybody have any questions right off the bat? Because I have a few. Yeah.
I've got a bunch.
Go. Yeah,
I missed you, Roger.
I was really alarmed. I spent about over an hour with the code enforcement building inspector last Thursday. And the plan that you submitted, he said he'd never seen it, which was bothersome. But he did give me a copy of the plan that he had on file. You know, he couldn't make the whole thing and wouldn't give it to me. Completely different to what we're looking at. And this was done by Digman Consultants. And it was back down in it was done in 2023. The one that we're working with says 2021. The things that brought us into the one we have, I do it, I get so much stuff here, and I apologize for that. That the house is not there, it says proposed dwelling. The house is built. Then on both the sides says proposed deck. That's the front and the back, which we shouldn't be looking at, correct?
Well, I think I'd like to sort of back up.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. On August of 2021 is when you came and got a special exception to tear down the house and build a new house. We gave you that approval. When I think the plan that,
There was two plans.
well, look,
Was it not broken?
this plan,
There was two different plans when we got the original application, right?
well, look, this I think was the plan that we originally saw, but this isn't the plan that we approved. Where is the plan that we approved in 2021? And then what happened is in 2023, you came back for an equitable waiver because the foundation had been put in not in the right space, and it was put in too large.
A little bit.
And we need, basically, again, before I think we can go to public hearing for this request, we need to see that plan and that approval. So we need the notice of decision from 2021 with a plan that was approved in 2021. We need the plan that was approved in 2023.
Okay.
And also then, when you, the plan that you submitted, or the drawing you submitted with the first level, looks like that's not the porch you want to build, that's the porch that you were going to build. It's just a little one.
You mean on where?
I'm talking about this.
That is
Oh, that was just to get it.
So we don't have any drawing of what you're asking for permission to do. We don't know where that, we need a plan for what you're asking for that shows how far it is from the center of the street.
Okay.
So all of the stuff we're gonna need to see before the public hearing.
Okay.
Roger, there's also variance request on the side of the lot line over here.
No, that's what, we gave them a special exception in 2021.
That's all set ahead, okay, yeah. So I would like to see the building in there. And with the,
Well, we need basically three things.
yeah.
We need what we approved in 2021, what we approved in 2023, and what they're proposing now. None of those do we have.
Well, before you continue on, I'm not sure how this is gonna work because keep that in mind what you have, because before the cards leave, I'd like to give them a list of what they need. Okay, Jim's not here to write it down and so forth, so you and I will put it together, okay? All right. Later on, before the close of the preliminary, yeah. In looking at it, should they go back to DES and get a shoreline permit? Is that?
Well, it depends on what they're asking for. If all they're asking for is for, compared to what was approved in 2023, if the only change from the 2023 plan is on the street
Yeah.
side of the building, strictly, then they don't need a DES permit. They would just need a variance from us.
It would be nice to see just the decks that they're asking for in this plan, the one that we listed.
That plan
I
is,
know that
it's confusing you.
Yes, it is, it's terrible. Yeah, because I spent at least an hour with the building inspector, he said, where the hell did you get that? And that was,
I remember this from the last time they were in here.
right.
There was, if I remember correctly, there was two different plans, and then we did a sidewalk.
Right. Yes, yeah.
Because I've seen both of these before, and I wouldn't believe I was on board in 2021.
Yeah.
So none of this information that we got with our packet is correct.
Correct.
It
None of it is
doesn't show
correct.
anything what we need to look at to make our decision.
Correct. We're missing everything we need.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, basically, the only thing we have is the verbiage that says they want to build a porch. But none of the plans that they gave us are the plans that we need.
Thank you. No wonder I was confused.
Yeah. I've been confused for a week now. Anyway, on your application, there was one thing, I'm assuming this is from 21 and 23, all other permissions have been granted. I take it those two other variances is what you were talking about then. All right.
We just want to go a little bit closer to the street with a porch, but a decent porch.
Yeah. Does anybody else have any questions?
So do you understand what I'm looking
Oh,
for?
yeah.
Mr. Chair,
Here, Roger, write those down.
Jack?
Yeah. I'm
can
sorry.
I make an administrative comment?
Yes.
Do not use blue ink It was very hard for us to read anything you did when you typed your application on the criteria. We had so much trouble, okay? And the plan, administratively, if I could say this too, the plan that you give us, the certified plan from the engineer, can't be something that's blown up at Staples because that's not to scale. It's gotta be an original and signed by the engineer to scale. 1 inch equals 20 feet.
23 by 23.
Which we didn't get.
But are we talking about Vernon's,
Talking about your plan was
Okay,
not
the
correct.
next plan that you bring in,
Right,
whatever plan you bring in based on our needs, 1 inch per 20 feet.
okay,
So if you take a rule of 1 inch would equal 20 feet on that plan.
but that doesn't mean the one that says proposed dwelling. You're looking, I don't know which one you're looking for.
Yeah, I would hope that.
Well, I guess we don't know which one we're looking for either, because we need the one.
We need both of them. We really need both.
Right, but what we don't need is
the stuff you don't need.
this.
Right. We don't need the stuff that we got, we need the stuff we don't have.
Yeah. So we, again, I think a good start would be to, grab the packet that you guys had from 21, the one from 23, and then seeing how Trish is, and I don't mean to volunteer you for this,
Yeah.
but I think she can, what
Well,
she,
because I've already talked to them, which is why
she's recused.
I gave them directions how to get on the website, so now I can't be a
Right.
voter.
So I think once you have those 2 items, I'm sure if you reach out to Trish and say, what else do I need? This is what I have. She can
Right.
tell you if or what you might be missing.
Okay, so you want a visual of how big it is, where it sits in the front of the house, and
We need the engineered plan, certified engineered plan. To scale, signed by the engineer, the original, of what you're trying to do.
Excuse me, and all the variance requests, I think the, how many feet from the center of the road to 65 feet?
Again, if they bring in that 21 and that,
That should be.
the notice of decision, that should have everything with it.
No, because they need, the third thing is they need a plan of what they're requesting,
Right.
Right.
which is with the porch and showing the distance from the porch to the
Yes.
center
But
line
if
of
you
the street.
refer to the 23 plan was the plan that was approved, that, in theory, that plan could be amended to show the porch that they want, as opposed to
Yeah,
what was on that plan at the time. Is that accurate? Is that
I
agree?
believe so.
What
You
project
agree with that,
you
Roger?
agree?
yeah.
And then I guess I only have one more question, and it's more for us, is it acceptable if they come up with the latest plan that we approved, as long as it's drawn in?
Because we need
We
an
need to see it.
accurate, we need an accurate distance to the center line of the road. And that, they can't just pencil out there.
Yeah.
They have to see sand, so, yeah.
That's why I asked, I just wanna make sure that.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't have-
Gotta see the building inspector, right? Yeah. So does anybody else have any questions or comments?
No, that answers my questions. Thank you. Answers my questions.
Okay, let me see if I can read these, Roger.
I printed.
Very good. I'm gonna ask the cards if they can read it. You wanna come up here, see if you can read this? This is what we're saying we need, and, this is Roger's typing. See if you can read it. Any questions?
Should I take a picture of it
I
so
was
I
gonna
know?
say, someone should probably take a picture of it, so.
Yeah, so yeah, we need to try to ask you any questions. Oh, beautiful, thank you, sir. Yeah.
Well, no, this doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Mrs. Carter, do you have any questions?
But will we be seen this month?
Well, that gets to be my next question. Does the plan with the porch and the measure to the center line of the road currently exist? Do you have a copy of that?
I do have to look.
Does not. Does not exist.
That does not exist. So that means you're gonna have to go get one.
Right.
I'm not sure how long that's gonna take you.
Yeah.
So I guess the only caveat to that is based on, was the plan that you grabbed from the building inspector?
Yeah, see, it's like this one here, yeah.
So I would say, oh, this one doesn't have a porch on
No, that's all he can do is,
it. Was it, I was just thinking,
That's
that's
the
the
other
one on the porch.
yeah,
And that is not the approved plan?
that's the same
No,
one.
there's one other one.
Yeah, that's all I have here. Yeah. That's all you can copy on, it was 23 by 23, so you gave me that.
He needs to come up here and you
I
copy
saw one, I
it.
thought I just saw
We
one.
can copy the plans.
Yeah, he could have, yeah, he was, I already held him up on that, now before he was supposed to go home. Yeah,
Roger, did you have one in there that showed a porch on it? That wasn't the one that was distributed on packet? 2021.
The one in that was,
What you're looking at?
That's the one, okay.
He's got it in his back somewhere.
what,
Excuse me, Chris, are you gonna keep track of that list we gave the cards?
There's 3 copies there.
Oh, thank you, yeah,
Yes,
because we're
You're
gonna use that next.
okay.
Okay, I'll let you go.
Do you want it?
Yeah, that's what I was.
I'll hold it.
It's gonna be all in that stuff.
And I doesn't show anything we give it up.
Right.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have a scale.
Okay.
No, that's what I was thinking, okay.
You know, I apologize for the kind of things that are going on. Not only do we have problems with this, but we lost our administrative assistants. And all the people that are helping out, this young lady over here, and the one that's taking minutes, this is all new to them, so it's new to us, so we're trying to do the best we can.
And that's just new to us
Yeah,
to come up with
yeah.
that.
Now, does somebody want to make a
No,
motion
so,
that we
before I do that, I
continuation?
want to know, how long do you think it will take you to get those 3 items that we need?
Whatever I have in the file, but if I need to have the surveyor come again, I should have a plan for the porch, and then have him survey off of that?
I need a piece of paper that has the house as it exists, the planned porch, and how far it is from the porch to the center of the street.
Okay. All right, I'll go Vernon. The surveyor never got back to me. I expected that.
So do we want to
But I think
continue?
Vernon can help us.
Well, there's, okay, but, I mean, we could do that. I mean, if you really don't know how long it's gonna take, then we can't set a time for the public hearing.
Yep.
We could basically continue the preliminary hearing to next month. And at that point, if you have everything, or if you have a firm date of when you're gonna have everything,
Yeah.
we could schedule. If you want to do that, and you're sort of nodding yes, then we also need, because the law requires us to hold a public hearing within 45 days of receiving the application, and of making a decision within 90 days of receiving the application. That's not going to happen because you don't have your stuff.
Yes.
So therefore, we need you need to request that or you need to waive that,
An
those time
extension.
limits
Yes.
that you're fine with us delaying it because you need time to get your stuff.
Yes.
And, okay, so you're affirming that in the
Yes.
record that.
Request an
They
extension.
requested
is what
an
it's called.
extension.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine.
So should she say we're requesting?
Yes.
I mean, we
At the
do
time.
request that you hang in there.
A certain extension.
Thank you.
So we want to,
Okay, so,
what is the first Wednesday in August?
August 6th.
August 6th. Somebody want to make a motion that we,
So Roger will make a motion that we extend the preliminary hearing with the concurrence of the applicant to August 6th.
I'll second that, Barbara.
Discussion?
we have a second? Yeah.
I just want, we need it by the Thursday before the August 6th in order for us to hear it, so we need that.
Okay. Yeah. Can I have a vote?
Aye.
Aye,
Right?
Unanimous. Okay.
that's unanimous, good.
Okay. See you August 6th.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. This is what this is. I get too many notes here. Okay. Preliminary review for Duane Skofield, 125 North Main Street, Newton, New Hampshire. Request a public hearing for relief from Article 15, Section 3, no buildings or structure shall be within 65 feet of the center line of the street. The property provisions that, blah, blah, blah. Would you come up, like, come up the street, please?
He was asking for a request. There was a bond outside the perimeters of the setbacks.
Yeah.
This is going to be inside the setbacks. Bond was torn down. The addition is behind the existing house, and the existing addition that was put on last year. So it's, it's not, doesn't meet the setbacks, but it's behind everything that's there.
Yeah, on your plan, sir, the, where is it, right here someplace. The ADU unit,
Yeah, okay, that was my question. So in your submission, you have this hand-drawn drawing that shows a little bump out connector between the house and the ADU. That bump out is not on this plan.
No, it was existing touch.
excuse me,
There should be a new plan that was drawn, but it was,
this is the one that I have. We all have the same thing.
yes, all it is this here is just going to be put on.
Right, but that's what I'm saying, that this plan is lacking that little piece.
I mean, that, it's not, that's an as-built.
And as-built?
Yeah, because the foundation was, I had the foundation put in, and that, once I put the foundation in, it gave me an as-built.
So why are we getting all right,
So because of the
Why-
60, it's 61 feet to the center of the road.
so the foundation was inspected and approved?
So
and permitted?
you should return to the plan, so I pick up the comments.
Yeah. So the foundation was permitted and approved?
The foundation was put, I got the foundation permit, and
Okay,
put the
and
foundation
that
in.
permit, let's slow down real quick. So you permitted the foundation, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Then the building inspector came out and approved the,
I had the as-built. Once I had the as-built, we saw the setbacks weren't,
well, I'm trying to get to, we're jumping way too far ahead. Do you have an approved, signed off foundation permit?
No, because it didn't meet when I did the as-built, it didn't meet that 65 feet to the center of the road.
So you
So
don't
I
actually
guess
have the
put-
foundation built yet?
The foundation's in, but.
But it's
to
not.
get
Is
this-
the
To get
permit.
the as built, you have to have the foundation in. Once
Once
the
you get a
foundation-
permit before the foundation goes
Yeah.
in.
What's that?
You get a permit and then you put
I
a
got the
foundation.
permit, I have the foundation permit.
We don't have that yet.
Well, Sam.
Well, but we need that.
We need that, and that's gonna tell you, it's gonna be certified that the foundation is in the right location.
Right, so I did that and it's not, that's why I'm asking
When was it put in?
this winter.
And this is just done 3 weeks ago.
Because they asked me to redo it.
Is the building built?
Yeah, the foundation's all set.
How did you get a building permit without the foundation
No.
certification?
That's what I'm asking for the grant.
Yeah, but on this permit that you were trying to get is the same date as the plot plan.
Yeah, because I didn't have the right one, because it didn't have that, the front, measurement.
Did
But
you
the plot
build it
plan's
without a building permit?
Yes, it,
Okay.
That answers that question.
Yeah.
I have a question.
because it was a mix-up and stuff, because.
Without getting a building permit?
I thought I had the building permit. I thought Sam approved it, because there's an addition that was done last year, and it's in front of us.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing what you have on here, on this big one, and you just have one bump out. But what's on the property card up online shows something and a deck. Is this the way?
No, you're in the back, that's on the back side.
Yes.
It's over to the right. See where your thumb is?
This is the front of the house, right here.
To the right. You see to the right, that little bump out right there? That was done last year.
That's a porch.
It's not.
But what I'm
a-
talking
it's-
about
It's
is-
an addition.
It looks, on the property card that's online, for this property, it shows a space here, which is first floor
Yeah.
with a crawl space underneath,
Yeah.
and the deck.
Yeah.
This is the back. So where is it that this is?
So
Because this does not show this.
it's right there. See where that bump out is to the right?
Yes?
That is where that addition right there was done last year.
With or without a permit?
That, I'm sure had a permit. I came.
Did you build it?
I got on this project with the frame already done. You know,
So you got no permits for it?
I got no permits for it. My plumber and my electrician got permits. So I came in.
How did they get a permit without a permit for the building?
You'd have to ask him. You know, because I had the electrical inspector, I had the plumbing inspector.
Did you ever
He
go
did
to-
not, Sam did not issue that permit for that addition right there.
I also have another question. You want to build an ADU. You haven't been to the
No,
planning.
it's not gonna have any kitchen in there, because she has dementia.
That's not what it says.
Well, it says ADU, which is an
I
accessory dwelling.
had it tested, so it can be an ADU, but we are not putting no stove in,
So what are you gonna use it for?
for her to live in,
For
the
what's
mother-in-law.
Your mother-in-law, is that what?
Their mother-in-law.
So in other words, you want to make it a bedroom,
Yes,
not an apartment.
right. It's just an addition.
Because
I
this says
had-
ADU, and that's something totally different.
No,
You need to
no,
go to
I
the
had-
planning board for that.
So I can go for an ADU.
If
I had a septic design done, and I have, everything on file. So they can go for an ADU.
Yeah, basically, if he wanted to be an ADU, he'd have to come to us to get approval for the setback from the road. And then they would have to go to the planning board to get approval for the ADU.
Right, not just, because if we gave them a permission for the
That's just to put
setback
it,
is not a permission to build it,
right,
or it's not a permission for the,
yeah, and probably what we should do is if we do approve it, make that clear in the notice of decision,
yes.
that if it were to be an ADU, he would need approval from the planning board.
Right.
Well,
But since
I'd
none
just
of
like
this
to,
information
I'd like
is.
to digress a little bit more. Currently, today, at 7 o'clock, what on this plan exists?
That structure,
Everything.
yeah.
Okay.
With or without permits? Doesn't sound like it's without permits.
Well, yeah, but whether or not there are permits is not an issue for the ZBA. That's an issue.
I guess my issue is, can we grant relief for something that's already existing?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, my question about that is whether, considering from what he has described, that he was not aware that that the foundation was too close to the center of the road until after it was put in. Rather than asking for a variance, he would ask for an equitable waiver. But in this case, I don't think it makes a whole lot of difference. We already started the variance process. That it's not going to really make any difference.
Yes, sir.
So what it was, there was a bond there, and that was, too close to the setbacks. We moved the building and shortened it, we tore down the bond that, that was existing there. And the reason why they didn't have the setback from the new structure to the center of the road is because it's behind everything, and an addition was just done. Like, I completed it probably a year and a half ago and stuff. So, there were, so the front setback wasn't like, I didn't think that was ever an issue, because
It wouldn't be an issue without a building permit.
Yeah, well.
yes, so
With no building permit, that's not an issue. Without a building permit,
No,
that is
I know.
not an issue.
I know, and that got caught, Sam caught it and told me and stuff. I wasn't aware,
So, but
we didn't have the,
for the sake of what we need to do tonight, do we have all, do we have all of the information we need to have a public hearing?
I don't think so. It's, yeah, no. You say no,
Can
John?
I say something? Okay. You all have this piece of paper.
Yes, we do.
Correct.
And it shows this bump out here, and it shows the new thing that he just showed.
Correct.
If you look up online and look at the property card. Thank you. This is what the property card shows. This is the front of the house. This is the back of the house. There is a room here and a deck, which is right in this area, right here.
Okay.
So this is not the same as the property card.
No, basically,
No, it's not.
this is, the only problem is the deck is not shown on this line.
But it takes up the whole back of this.
But that's
It
this.
starts from, no, it's not. See how I've drawn it? That's right off the property card, just like that.
I mean, if the engineer says this is what's on the ground now, I mean, that,
Did you notice that?
Who's gonna want the property? For what?
I mean, maybe the property side is
I guess
wrong.
I guess I'm having a hard time understanding why what we have in our application is a denial of an addition, when really we should have a foundation-only denial.
structural setbacks.
But
I understand that, but what I'm saying is this building,
Right,
part of our requirements, so this should have been shaken out upon an approval of the foundation.
but the building is there now, and again,
Say that again?
the building is there. So the denial is for approving what is there. And the only question we need to answer is, are we concerned about how close it is to the road?
3.5 feet, something like
But, and that discussion is for the public hearing, not for tonight.
that. Yes, yeah, yes.
All we need tonight is, as far as I can see, we have all of the information that we need to go to public hearing. I'm sort of looking at the other members of the board to see if they think they need, do you have any other information that you need?
I just don't like that the drawing doesn't match what it says on the property card. That's
I
what
think
it
shows
shows on the
on
property.
the deck.
Well, I think to kind of elaborate on that statement, I'm concerned that what we're looking at on a piece of paper is even what's there, I guess. That's where I'm having a hard time. You know, because like we have a foundation, we don't have a foundation sign off, well, then now there's a building, you know what I mean? So I'm having,
Well, we have a stamped engineer who said on June 25th, this is what was on the ground.
For a one-bedroom ADU,
But he says it's not gonna be.
but it's not gonna be an ADU.
But that is not an issue for us.
it's not an issue.
Whether it's a building or a bedroom or an ADU is a
So
question
why
for the
don't we
planning
just
board.
approve all of this and we won't have to waste any time? It sounds like it's gonna get approved. No matter what it is, let's just approve it.
We need to have a public hearing.
Yeah. This is just preliminary.
Okay.
Anybody else? When did this application come in?
Robin stamped it. The Monday, yeah, 24th. It was due by Thursday, and it came in on Monday.
August 6th.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
My other question is sort of a technical one for staff. Is who's going to take care of all of the stuff for the public hearing? The certified letters, the newspaper.
Okay, so can I answer that, Mr. Chair?
Let's go right ahead.
Okay, so our procedure, which by the way, we have to talk about that later. Our procedure says that the applicant,
No, we
Is gonna-
did not approve that. We talked about it. That was not approved.
I know, what I'm hearing out though, what we said is that the applicant is gonna be given, I will give that, what?
We did not approve that.
We didn't approve what?
That changed the
Change
rules.
to the procedure.
We spoke about it, but we did not approve anything last month.
Right, and that's my thing, I went to the old documents, our old procedures. The applicant has to, if he's gonna be August 6th, the abutters list has to be out by about July 25th. It's because it's gotta be 5 days before our hearing. So that means, probably me, will get all that information. I'll do the abutters, he's already given us the abutters list, and that will have to be mailed out in order to have the hearing on the 6th. Is that what your question is?
But you're going to mail out the certified letters.
Yeah,
Okay, and you're going to place the newspaper ad.
because we don't have anyone else right now.
Okay, that was my question. I just wanted to make sure there was somebody who was assigned to do the job.
Yeah.
You don't need the newspaper, right?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
The ZBA
Yes.
rules say,
Planning
the
board.
planning board does not need a newspaper ad. The ZBA needs the
And so I already called the newspaper, I asked how much lead time, because I was concerned about this. They said if I get them, they gave me all the information, if I get it to them, they'll have it in the newspaper within 2 days, so I can make sure we're covered with the 5-day notice, and so we should be good.
Okay, so I just wanted to make sure there was someone.
Yeah,
Because I knew I wasn't gonna do it.
Trish, you know the list you gave me of who's doing what?
yes,
Did you go down and make a copy for everybody, so Roger will?
everyone got it from
Oh,
them.
you did give them one, okay, I'm sorry.
Yep,
All right.
yep.
Yeah, I know I have them, but I didn't know if we put them
Yeah.
up good. Because Nat was happy, we're trying to do the best we can under these conditions, right? How many times did we speak in the last week?
I know, so many, I thought, I might have asked her now.
We almost had to close the TSP.
Okay,
So, Roger makes a motion that we move this application for a public hearing on August 6th.
I'll second Barbara.
All those in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
Unanimous. So we'll see you August 6th,
7 o'clock.
at 7 p.m.
Do you have anything you gotta make out?
I'm sorry, so what?
Anything you gotta fill out?
No, babe, we don't need anything, no, we got everything right
I'll
here.
be doing it, what has to be done.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes?
Can I come back to my seat now?
Oh, yes, you did, I'm sorry, yeah. Miss White's back to an office.
Now I'm off, huh? All right.
Say easy and easy out.
I have one thing on page 2, and hang on in the middle, it says, this is when we're talking about the notifications for it. It says here, posted in at least W public, it's supposed to be 2 public places.
That's just a typo.
Yeah, just a typo, that's all, yeah.
All right, who's going to be
I'm gonna fix that.
doing this, you?
Well, I did it, and I have to say, I think I already told you, Barbara, but I had trouble hearing on the video, but fortunately now Diane's gonna take over.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
I had a couple of typos which I sent to the ZBA
A lot of
email,
emails,
so I don't know if
yeah.
anybody got it, but I wrote them down if you want to know what they were. It was the 2, was one of them.
Robin is checking those, but I don't check them.
Okay.
You want to
Continue to number 3.
I'm writing down Robin,
Okay.
Roger's helping me, page 2,
Excellent.
posted. Okay, thank you. Okay, go ahead.
Okay,
On the
let's,
same page.
Yes.
See where it says the surrounding motions?
Mm-hmm.
Poll, P-O-L-L,
oh.
whole board.
Oh,
Got it?
got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. And there's a couple of places in here where Mr. Kozec's name is not spelled correctly.
Oh, dear, I'll
It's
check.
S-Y-Z.
Oh, yeah, I see one already. I'll check all that. All right.
That's it.
I had a couple of typos on the 3rd page, number 3.
Okay,
The 3rd line from the bottom. Ms. White asked A docket, I think it's supposed to be AA docket.
Yes.
okay.
And then down at the bottom on the A, 2 copies of the Norris. Should have been
Notice I missed
noticed.
that one.
Oh, yeah, notice, okay.
And, no. And on page 4, just before 4.3, in that paragraph above that, AA docket also stated the Ms. McCarthy, probably should have been that, Ms. McCarthy. So at the beginning, the first line of that paragraph, the word "the" before your name, I think should be "that."
I'm completely confused. That,
Yeah.
And what was the other one? Oh, the next to last sentence, the board agreed it is a good idea to add "I," and it probably should be "it" to the procedures. Members of the board would get the whole escrow report and applicants would just get their portion. The board agreed it is a good idea to add "it" to the procedures.
Really
I don't
should
know where you are.
be-
What page?
The same paragraph as the
What page is that on?
number, page 4.
Right there.
Okay, 4.
Sorry, I missed it. What
On the
paragraph?
third line down, well, it's hard to identify these. Under number 5, it's the second paragraph that starts with AA dotted.
So if,
Yeah.
okay.
And then the end of the third line, the board agreed it is a good idea to add,
Yeah, I got it.
I don't know whether that's an I or an L or a T, but
It's supposed to be it, to procedures. Yeah.
that was all I had.
Make a motion that we approve the minutes of June 4th, 2025 with a few typo corrections. And also, with a great vote of thanks to Ms. McCarthy for doing a stellar job
Right.
preparing.
Thank you.
Do I have a second?
I'll second. Oh, I can't, sorry.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Second.
So John seconded.
Oh, I second, okay. All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Unanimous. Minutes, no escrow, that's it?
So, Mr. Chair, can I talk though, the discussion on rules of procedure?
Yes.
Because, like Roger said, we never finished, Jim was gonna do an
Right,
update.
yeah.
So I have Jim's notes and I have my notes from that meeting. So I'm gonna try to put everything together, got access to his computer, and fix what we all know. But I think that it might have been Mary asked if we should go through the appendix too, and Jim said, don't worry about it. Well, we need to go through those too. I started looking at them, so those need to be done. So
you want to look at them next month?
so whatever you guys
Yeah.
want, I just wanted you to know that I've got Jim's copy in mine. And he hasn't got the finished copy on his computer, so I'm gonna have to create it, okay? And then the other thing that I noticed, if I could, on the computer, on the internet rather, on our website, we voted, I don't know how many months ago, to change our fee
Oh,
structure.
yeah, right, yes.
It's never been posted.
Never been changed.
So all
Well,
these,
Excuse me, wasn't there some discussion with the selectmen one night, thought we might be going too high?
no, we voted.
Yeah, I know we voted on it, but there was a selectmen's meeting, we were talking about costs and so forth.
Jeez, I don't know about that.
But the issue is, the new issue is that with the change in the rules of procedure, we should, because we are now moving some obligations to the applicant, we should
And you said that,
again
yes.
look at the fee structure in relation to the changes that we're gonna make in the rules.
So let's look at it, that's a good idea.
It's, Trish, how are we gonna work, like, that's something to put on the agenda for next month?
Yeah, I'll put it on.
We're gonna put it on,
You can
okay.
tell me what to do. and I'll do it.
Just that, we should discuss the fees and so forth,
Okay.
our procedures, yeah?
Okay.
Put it at the end.
And I think,
So you're going to prepare a draft of all the changes for the rules?
I've already
Yeah.
done a lot of it already. I've been working on it, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
Because I knew we had to talk about it.
Mhm.
And we don't have another choice. There's nobody else here. So, and that way we can adjust, like you said, everybody look at it again. Does everyone still have a copy?
Well, I think what we, again,
To look at?
don't want to get people confused.
Right.
I think if you, for next meeting, or as soon soon as you can,
Okay,
you prepare a new, you know,
and you draft.
a draft that shows the changes, like Jim sort of did.
Okay.
The text and the red and the underline.
Yeah, which is what I've been doing, yes.
So that we can then see all of the changes,
Okay,
and then
and then
we'll
figure it out.
we'll sort of do, hopefully only one more whack at it.
Okay,
And then be able to approve it.
okay, okay. All right, I can do that.
Question.
Yeah.
You doing the website now?
Yes,
Can you update the ZBA 2023 meeting schedule to make it a 2025?
there is, it's like a few steps down, it is there, he did put it there. I couldn't find it at first. I found 2023, but I did find it.
Yeah.
But I should get rid of the 2023 one.
Yes.
Okay,
The other thing is, I went looking for the notices of decision,
yes.
and I couldn't find them.
So they're there, he hasn't been putting a lot of them on. I started, same with planning board with it, so there has been this little gap going on. So you're not gonna see all of them. We've put on what has happened the last maybe 2 months, and that's about it. That's what's there.
And what was there before? There was some before.
There was some, but it was here and there.
And
Yeah,
I went trying to look into the paragraph.
exactly, see? So, and I'm still trying to find things, so what I can't find, I can't find, but, you know, I'll do the best I can.
Just a reminder for everybody, in your package,
Yes,
this was Trish's idea, that all the 5 or 6 criterias, no, you can make your comments on it, even if you just answer yes or no, but we'll turn this in at the end of the night after we do it, so.
And make sure Gordon the minutes on those.
Right, so we don't have to do the recording.
I just
And I thought it was a nice idea.
thank you.
We could put our
Well,
comments
you
in
know,
there.
it helps me and the newbies here. Some of you oldies but goodies don't need it. But it's good to know the definition, the RSA of that criteria, each one, so when you're evaluating somebody. So it helped me, you probably don't need it, you probably don't need it, Roger, I'm sure you don't need it.
oldies.
But goodies, those goodies. Okay.
There's just one other thing I think we'd all like to say, Jim's listening, thank you very much for all the years you spent with us. We're sure gonna miss you, and best of luck in the future.
Yes, I agree.
Yes,
Yeah.
I hope it's a new exciting
If there's
chapter.
nothing else, we adjourn.